Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Brent, and welcome to the secret 8th circle of hell. God, I hate snow. I hate it so much. This is up to my hand, look. Guys, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet, because it helps me so much when it comes to Google, who owns YouTube and their algorithm, and trying to get me to new eyes and faces and people who may be interested in this sort of thing. So if you do that for me, that would be terrific, because it is free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, which is really nice. If you really want to help the channel out, a direct way to do that is to go to GleasonBrosRacing.com, click on the merch store tab, take yourself over to the merch store, get yourself some really nice and very comfortable clothing and other accessory items. I have stickers, hats, koozies, tumblers, polo shirts, novelty t-shirts, race team shirts. Go ahead and check it out. They're affordable. They're very affordable. But they're very good quality as well. They're very nice, comfortable shirts. Maybe if we start getting a little bit more into this thing and getting bigger and having more reach, we can put together better stuff. But for now, we've got affordable stuff. That's not a complete pile of crap. So GleasonBrosRacing.com, check that out, please, for me. You'll have to excuse me today because I have had a hellacious few days. I have been inundated, as with the rest of the Northeast, with about 18 to 20 inches of snow. I missed a day of work. My plow truck snapped in half. Well, I rephrase that. The plow snapped in half. The truck is about to, but it's not the truck. It was the plow. So I have spent the greater part of the last 2 days, especially today, which was my actual day off, looking for a new plow. And I found parts, and I found a whole complete plow, and I'm still trying to pick that up at some point. My day today has been horrific trying to get parts and stuff. Just awful. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to just take the day off of working in the shop. I want to come in here and get some stuff done because there's way too much to do still. Plus, working not in the snow, even though I tracked a whole bunch of it in, is a lot more cathartic than being out there. So, now that I'm not shoveling, I can finally do things on this. I did not get to any auto parts stores, and I didn't get any of the fuel system stuff that I needed. So that's on the list, but we can still keep moving forward. And my thing is, let's go to the gauges. Why start there? Well, because there's a few holes in this thing that need to be plugged up in order for us to actually try to run it. And we have to try to find a way to get water into it as well at some point. So the one in the back for the oil pressure line is open, and if we tried to fire that up, it would fire all the oil out all over the back of the engine, so that's not going to do. We got to put a sending unit in there at some point. And I have the water neck open because we need to put the sending unit for the water temperature gauge in there as well. So there's a couple things that we need to do. Also, I really just want to do something cathartic after all the heavy lifting that I've done over the past few days, especially with snow and snowplow parts and all sorts of other completely nightmarish things. So I'm going to let this place warm up for a little longer. I'm going to go grab the gauges, and we're going to start putting them together. Now, I didn't pay a lot for these gauges here. And somebody has a weird fish fetish because they're named dolphin gauges and dolphin instruments and shark gauges. And I'm like, okay, well, they give me all sorts of, I don't even know what these are. I think this is for a programmable speedometer or something. Yeah, so this is absolutely useless to me. But they were not very expensive, and I think I paid like 150 bucks and got 4 gauges on eBay. Now they give you this, which is appropriately named a hang down, which draw your own conclusions to what kind of, yeah, there you go. Alright, so let's just get on with opening these up. Now this is what looks to be water temp. Now these are all electronic gauges. And you know what? For their size, they're actually really kind of nice feeling. They got a little weight to them. Like, I think this might actually, I mean, listen. Nah, I thought it was glass. It might be plastic, but check this out. I mean, they look pretty nice. Here's your backside. You got the 2 mounting studs here. And you've got these back ones, which is going to be I think your sending unit, your ground, and your power, right? That's pretty much how these work. So I'm going to take all these, unwrap them all, get them out of the box, start putting them into my hang down, and figure out what order they should be in. Now, I got water temp, I got voltage, I've got oil pressure, and I got fuel level. And luckily, I bought the fuel tank that's in the truck has a sending unit that's 0 to 90 ohms, and so does this. So that's awesome. Hopefully that gauge should read accurately. Fingers crossed. Now, how these are going to work is actually quite simple. I think I mentioned it before. Most of them are 2-post power ground with a sending unit. I have to add my own sending unit wire to each individual sender, which is not a huge deal. How I'm going to wire these is actually kind of simple, and I take a lot of this from racing. Now, the first gauge is going to be this one over here, because that's the one that's going to be the closest to not only the bus bar, but to me, which the bus bar is more important in this situation. There's your power, there's your power, there's your power, there's your power, correct? Here's your ground, here's your ground, here's your ground, here's your ground. That's why they're all the same. What I'm going to do is, power is going to come into the first one. I'm going to add a jumper wire to the next one, a jumper wire to that one, and then to that one. And with the ground, I'm also going to go in the same direction. Here, there we go. There's another one, and then off to ground somewhere. And then all the individual ones can come off. Well, actually, like these two and this one. And we can do it that way. Now, these also have lights, which would be kind of nice. And I think I'll put those in at some point as well. And I think I'll tie all those grounds in with the ground on here. Just tie them right in. Keep all the wiring as simple as possible. And all the powers, I might just loop straight over onto the power post here. Because then, if I do that, it'll be all completely self-contained. You'll see like 2 wires coming off of it, and whatever the sending units are, and that's it. Not 15 wires coming in, one each individual, everything. No. All different series, and all very tidy. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Might be a little loose on the connections, but I think I got plenty that might have fallen out of other things, and I just tossed them into a drawer, so alright, let's just start there. Also, what really kind of stinks is that I'm going to have to remove this one and this one on the ends, because that's where the mounting holes are, and you can't really sneak anything by and make new ones at that point, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to self-tapper screw them right up under here. That way, at least I'll be able to read them very clearly. They'll be right in my line of vision. And when I turn the key, everything should turn on. I'm going to wire the power straight into the back of the ignition switch on the ignition side, not on the battery side, so they're not constantly on, clearly. And I might have to... Do we want the lights to be on all the time? Or do we just want them on when we turn the lights on? That would be a little extra wiring, but it would only be one wire. I could just run a wire off of the pull on the headlight switch down and click that into the series of or I could just jump them straight and just always have lights. I think we'll just do the jumper and just always have lights. There's less wiring in that. Okay, as a proof of concept, we're now going to test it. This is my power probe I got off of Amazon. Basically, you hook it up to the positive and negative of battery. You got your negative clip here, and you can add power with that. So, on this, the closest side to me has power. So, I'll do this. See how it's green? I'll just turn this over so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go, and look at that, huh? I want you to pay attention to this gauge right here. That's your volt gauge. By the way, did you see all the lights light up? Look at that, huh? Fuel gauge is a unhappy beast, but yep, all of them light up, all of them moved. And all of them read properly. Well, the one that at least was supposed to. So, that is pre-wired. Now all we have to do is sending units on the ones that need it. And Band-Aid, I guess. But we'll have to deal with that later. All right. So that was a pretty productive day. We got all the wiring done on the gauges. We put the gauge cluster together. All we have to do is the last little bit for the sending units. So that's pretty good. However, the rest of that's going to have to wait for another day because I wish I could accurately portray to you how tired and absolutely worn out I am right now. My toes are frozen off. I think they're gone. They're probably just little nubs in my sock that's just floating around in my boot. I am sore. I hurt. I actually hit a point today where I couldn't actually lift anything. Because, you know, I'm used to actually being able to pick things up that are really, really heavy. And this should have been okay with me, but I hit a point where I actually couldn't do it. And that sucks. So I'm going to go lay down. And by lay down, I mean sit behind the seat of my racing sim and head iracing up after I get a bite to eat and a hot shower. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, we're back again, and I think today we're going to work on sending units and seeing if I can get the radiator to fit. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there, but we're just going to, like I said, put our head down. Just keep moving forward. Now, I have to put at least 3 different sending units in this. Actually, yes, I have 3 different sending units. One's in the back. I forgot about that one. 2 up front, and then the fuel one, which I got to figure the fuel one out. But I got to put an oil pressure, temperature, and then the other one. But no big deal. I got colored wire over here. Problem is that I have a couple that are already used in this truck that I don't have enough to really distinguish a difference. I have green and yellow going to the front because that's what came off of the turn signal stock. But I don't have a lot of other colors. I'm probably going to use white, which I've already used as well, but we'll use that anyway. I got blue, I got green and yellow, except for black and red. So I think we'll just use the blue, white, and green. Green's kind of a duplicate, but that's okay. It's not going to be near the same place. I'll probably end up using green somewhere else. Like this sending unit, it's got green and yellow. I don't know how these work. I have no idea. And they gave me a connector with it, but no other end to it. So where does that go? I don't know. So I guess we're going to be clipping wires and figuring it out. So the yellow one has a white stripe. Okay. So we'll figure that out too. Whatever. I also have to keep in mind that I think the fan on the radiator, because this thing comes with an electric fan, and it might also come with wiring. Now, what's going to happen is I think it's got to have a sending unit to trigger the fan. Where to put that, I'm not sure. Usually, and a good place for it, would be back here on the back of the cylinder head, because back here is where it gets the hottest, and you can see there's a big fitting, or a plug, I should say, in here, and I believe there's one on the other side as well, and that's where your engine's usually going to be the hottest. It'll give you the best indicator of how warm the engine is. But since we're going to be running a thermostat in here, at least it'll kind of ball it all up a little bit. So what I was thinking was, with this Edelbrock intake, I can use the temperature probe in here, but this fitting's not going to work, so I got to go change the fitting real quick. But there's another one here, and both of them are water fittings, so I might as well just use that one because it's really open, and it would be very easy for me to do. I don't think one of these types of fittings would pass this header flange here, and I don't feel like taking that off. So I think we're just going to use the one that's really easy to get to, as long as it comes out, because I don't think I've ever had it out. Alright, I'm sitting on the floor. I got the battery hooked up. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Voltage worked. Fuel level went to exact 0. All these are perfect. That's cool. Remember, fuel level went whoop when we tested it. Well, now it's good. Even every light lights up. That's cool. I think we're good here, guys. I would love to crank it over and see if it gets oil pressure, but it is way too cold, and that battery will die. And I don't know if it's going to spit any fluid out of the transmission, because I don't have any of the coolant lines hooked up either. So, couple things working against me at this moment, but if I cap those off, or, I don't know, put them in, then maybe we can check that. But that's really cool. I've never had fully electric gauges before. That's... Look at that! I am so stoked about just having fuel level, because I would hate to have a hot rod and not know how much gas is in it. See, look, goes right back down. That's cool. Whew, I gotta tell you guys, I didn't realize how late it was. Wiring takes forever. But what's really cool is we got everything put in. Oil pressure sending unit, water temperature sending unit, all the gauges, oh, and the fuel level sending unit. And we loomed all the wires, put all the wire ties in it, tidied it up, put some tape on them. I even put dielectric grease on the grounds, and I used a waterproof connection on the fuel level sensor. I bought a whole set of these waterproof connectors, so hopefully they keep water out. But I bought them off of like Amazon. I have a whole bunch of them. I can make like 2, 3, 4, even I think up to 5 connections at once. But that's cool. I've wired it all. I just kind of threw it through the bed because it was there. So that'll help. However, considering how late it's gotten, I got to get out of here. So I'm going to go take a little bit of a rest. I will be back out here tomorrow. I think we'll tackle maybe some of the radiator or something tomorrow. We got to figure that out as well, because if we're going to be doing a little bit of wiring and stuff, that's going to really kind of matter, because we're going to have to probably put a sender and some relays in, and not really sure how to we're going to wire that one, but I guess we'll figure that out tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. I think we said we were going to do some cooling work, at least opening up the radiator box and seeing what's in it. I got to apologize to you guys for this week because I've had other emergencies happen outside of racing. See, we got 15 to 18 to 20, depends on where you live, inches of snow this past weekend, and my plow snapped in half. And I've been frantically searching for one because they decided, hey, we might get another 12 inches of snow this weekend. And I am kind of solely responsible for plowing my entire neighborhood out because we don't get town services such as road maintenance or plow where we live. It's a nice neighborhood. However, having to do that, I don't know if that really saves me anything in the long run, which kind of sucks. So I've been out for a few days looking for plows. I brought one home today. That didn't work, and I figured out why, because the hoses are junk on it, but the plow that I broke has brand new hoses on it, so I have to take apart 2 plows and swap the hoses over on it in 15-degree weather. And I'm just going to kind of do what I can with the cooling system today just to give you guys some kind of a video. So let's get to work on that. Maybe I'll fire up the heat. I mean, it is, 18 degrees in here. Well, actually, I don't even know how cold it is. Let's look. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Look on the left side, not the right side. 20246. All right, well, we'll say it's 26 in here on the cheap Chevrolet service knockoff thermometer. Well, that's not in, is it? Flange is here, and they make it like an angle, like factory, so that the radiator kind of slides into this recess here, but problem is we're kind of hitting something. Now, there is a solution to that. I have not only this fan, but I also have, and I hate to use it, but I will if I have to, my really nice Spall fan, which is like, that's the width of my hand. That thing is so thin, but that's like a $250 fan back in the day. Whatever, I'll use it if I have to. It's not a huge deal. I don't think it'll actually fit in that spot, will it? Well, it's got the recesses. I could probably put it on there. Do I want to use the nice fan, though? It's not like I'm using it now, but I don't know if it would really pass. That's the thing. I don't know if it would get past that spot. So what we're going to have to do is let's just take this thing off and see if the radiator fits in general, which it should. I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't. And then we can go run through options and see what we can do for a fan. Don't be afraid of these eBay radiators. They're cheap, but you know what? They do work, and I don't think I've ever really had a problem with one. Oop, I think I must have bumped into it a little bit down there. That's all right. I put that big piece of foam in here so that it wouldn't, bash into it when I was working on stuff, and I must have forgot to put it in there when I was bolting it up. That's okay. It didn't hurt nothing. Just kind of bent a fin over. She bolts right up into the factory spot, which is cool. Now, what really is going to suck about all of this is trying to get a lower radiator hose on here. It's not impossible, and I have found some part numbers that might fit. I think it's like if you cut down a Napa 7776 or something like that. I don't remember, but let's go take a look at what I got, and maybe we can kind of butcher something together. Also, I forgot to mention it, I think the expensive fan is just going to have to go on here, because I need to be able to have room to service the engine as well. And if I try to stuff that giant thing in there, which is really nice, I mean, whoever built it did a fantastic job, and I love it, but it's just not going to fit my application. And luckily, I will be able to work with something like that new or really expensive fan over there. That is, well, I really wish I had it for the race car, but this is kind of more important, so we're just going to work with it. I want to be able to change belts, and I want to be able to have the fan at the same time, and I don't want to have to take things off in order to work on it. That's my main concern. So let's go find some other stuff to put this together. Oh boy, racing season's going to be a mad scramble. All right, what do we got in here? Huh. I was really hoping that's a bottom, but I think this is a top. Dang it. But I might use it anyway, so let's see. What else do we have? I got that. I got this. That's a lower, but that won't work because it's way too big. This looks like an upper. Yeah, I might have enough to put an upper hose together, but I might have to go to Napa and buy a hose that I have to cut up. Let me keep searching through here a little bit more, and maybe I'll find something. Really doubt it. No. I've butchered a lot worse. Kind of messed up here, but I left a little 45, and that actually kind of saved me, which is cool. So this is a little bit narrowed at the top because I didn't have two 45s. But it'll be okay because the upper hose is always your feed hose, not your suction hose, so it doesn't really matter. Down there, again, that's kind of a different story. Not quite sure if I trust a cheap Chinese. Wow. What is that? They claim 19 pounds? Okay. I'll probably be putting a Stant or some kind of actual name brand on that. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll know that I have had issues with radiator caps in the past. And it's not been good. However, I'm done with the cold for today, and I really do apologize to you guys. There should be a lot more content than this for you. But, man, stress. Stress of daily life and the cold and the snow and breaking things. It's just been tough. So I'm just going to kind of call it. We got a good plan. I got to go to the parts store, though. I'm kind of out of parts for what I want to do. I really need a lower hose. I'm going to go online and look that up, and we'll figure that out. I also need a fuel hose, and it's stuck in the damn truck. There it is. I need another one of these, and it's got to go on this end, and it has to go in the carburetor. So I can't use that -8 nice extended line that I have in there, so I'll have to put one of those in, and I'll save some propane because I'm going to need it. By the way, I'm thinking about buying a wood stove for this place because I want to talk about some heat. And that's cheap. So we'll figure that out later. Okay, guys, I'm at the other shop, and I've reached a point where life and projects are kind of at odds. And if I'm going to be doing something mechanical, I might as well just show it on the channel instead of just kind of doing it in the background. And then the video suffers because I don't have time to do the video, right? So I'm taking a break from the truck project for a moment because this is important. Now, I've told you about my plow being down and the real kind of relative importance of that plow. Now, where I live, I don't get plow services. I think I mentioned that before. I don't get road services, so I have to like the whole neighborhood has to maintain their own roads, meaning potholes, plowing, etc., right? I don't know why I have to pay as much in taxes as everybody else. I've already asked the tax collector that. They didn't seem to like me whining about it. Anyway, I think you can all agree I should pay less if I don't get the same services as everybody else, but they don't seem to think so. Doesn't matter. I'm at the other shop because this is where my plow broke, and this is kind of where it is. Now, I've got the heat on, and it's going to be dark really soon, but thankfully, the spot where the truck was, I can now get in here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't even know if I can or not, but I'm going to try to drag the plow in here and just work on it in here because I have to take off all of the hydraulic lines, and I might as well just gut it if I'm taking stuff off of it to begin with. That means when I get home, I'm either going to do it tomorrow or I'm going to be working in the dark. Don't really know at this point. So I'm going to open that door. We're going to start trying to get it in. If I can't get it in, I have the keys to the tractor, so I can use that to shove it in here. So let's go do that. At least it's something for you to watch, right? So let's do it. Well, of course, after all that work, nothing works. Nothing happened. It doesn't leak. That's all I know. This big connector that I just kicked, plug that in. I plug the big power leads in because it's got separate power cables and controller cables. Plugged everything in, hit the button. I heard the pump work after filling it up with fluid, and nothing moved at all. I don't know. I don't know what to do next because I looked in the reservoir and all I saw was just completely aerated fluid, so I don't really know what to do now. I mean, when I had it working before, I could find the leak because it was pouring out of one of the bad hoses. So I was like, okay, well, it must be moving fluid. So I patched up the hoses with the ones I already had, and nothing works still. So I got one idea, but I don't really know if that's going to be it or not. Since you can't see me, I'm kind of wondering if I should pull the reservoir off because I'm wondering if ice got in it because I've had that happen before. And it wouldn't suck up any oil because there was ice from just condensation or water getting in there and it blocked the pickup tube. So I'll try that tomorrow. It's just going to be like one bolt and I'll try to angle it out and dump fluid everywhere like usual and try that. But if that doesn't work, I'm out of ideas and a plow truck until further notice. But guys, I just wanted to apologize for kind of how this video has gone this week. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as long as usual because it's been so ungodly cold that it's been almost torture to be out here because I do not have insulation in my shop, as you can tell. And I don't have a very adequate heat source. Apparently, I guess it's against code to put wood stoves in garages, even though I could call this a shed, but it's kind of hard to do that if you have a car in it. I don't know. But I don't know how to heat this place affordably without propane. And with no insulation, it's an ice box. So right now, I just checked the weather. It is 6 degrees. Ooh, fun experiment. Let's go see what the thermometer says in here. I think it's broken. Didn't it say 24 yesterday when it was 6 degrees out or single digits out? I think it is broken. You know what? I have another source. Okay, let's see if this thing even works. What's that mean? AL. What the hell does AL mean? Huh? All-time low. I don't know. I guess that's useless too. It's pretty bad when your instruments also don't work because of how cold it is. Nothing works. My plow doesn't work. My heat doesn't work. My tools don't work. It's too cold to work. Does it look like I'm too cold? I spent the entire day outside because I work outside. Then I have to come home and work outside. I hate it. I'm so over this. So you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm skipping working in here tonight just because I can't do it. Like, I honestly can't do this anymore. So I have to do it again tomorrow, which really sucks. So I'll do it again tomorrow. Okay, I'm back out here today. Got the little reservoir off of the plow, and I took a look in there, and there's no ice. However, there was a lot of particulate. So I'm kind of hoping that was it, but at the same time, I'm really kind of not confident. And I'm now full of Mexican food that I DoorDashed here for I don't know what reason. I guess I just wanted it. Doesn't matter to the story. So let me show you at least how far I'm in. I got the, like I said, got the reservoir off. I'm gonna have to clean it out because it looks like crap and I dropped it in the snow. So there's that. Everything looks all right. I like the metal reservoirs way more. I have a plastic one. The plastic does not hold up. These are much better. So I'm gonna hose that out completely. If you look at the fluid, there's all sorts of stuff in there, right? And all that stuff is right underneath where this pickup tube was. What I don't like is the fact that the pickup tube, and I don't want to grab the screen too much. I can't even see what I'm doing here. I don't want to, because I can really kind of move this thing pretty easy, but I don't think that's really an issue, or else it wouldn't be that way to begin with. I'd love to get another rotation on it, but I probably can't. Now, I was going to take this carb cleaner and just spray the hell out of the pickup sock here. And I noticed that this pump is a little bit different than the one that I have, being that I don't think I have this weird, what is this called? The recirculation tube? I don't even know. It's where the fluid comes back in, I guess. So I don't really know where to start or finish here, but I think the only thing I can really do is clean. Like I said, I had all this really just disgusting fluid and stuff stuck in there. So I'm just going to kind of clean it out, put it back together, dump some more fresh oil in it, and just maybe try it again. I don't really know. And if that actually works, I'll be, number one, surprised, but number two, happy, I guess. Then we'll move on to lights because the headlights don't work. But that's kind of the least of my problems at this point. I just need this to work. I don't really know what to do after this except for maybe pirate all the rest of the parts out of the other pump and plow that I have. I have two other pumps. One that I know works because, that was my old plow and it worked until it broke. So I could use that. I just rust-proofed my socket wrench, which means it fell in the oil. So now I'm just kind of letting that dribble out, and fun times. But the good thing is, the storm that we were supposed to get this weekend is not really going to show up now. Because last week they said, hey, you might get a foot of snow. And I was not interested in that because we already got a foot plus. We got almost 2 feet. Now, at least, if I need to fix this plow, it's going to take longer because there's other issues with this thing working, and I hate that I paid $500 for this damn thing. I bought the plow that I just bought, this damn thing, is the same price as I paid for this truck and the working plow until it broke. You can't get a deal with everything, I guess. So I rebought my truck. So I'm just going to get back to work on cleaning, and hopefully that we can get this thing back together and working, because I kind of need it. As you saw in the time lapse, absolutely nothing worked again, so we ruled that out. I don't really know where to go next. I probably am going to go do a little bit more research. I mean, I'm wondering if the pistons are frozen or if the pump is bad. Either way, I think I'm just going to rob both of them out of my old plow that worked. Just stuff them in here because maybe I'll start with the pistons, and if that doesn't work, we'll put a new pump in it. I don't know. It's aerating the fluid really badly, like it's got some kind of pressure issue. So I don't know where to go next. But tonight we're done. So also, whenever I turn the headlights on, they don't come on. But I pulled the connector apart. I stuck my power probe in it. And I have not only high beams, but low beams. So there's definitely a ground or wiring or solenoid, some kind of issue. I'm not really too sure exactly what it is, but I think we're just going to have to address this at a later date, because thankfully that storm we're supposed to get is not going to be anything really necessitating of a plow, I guess. So I think I'll just go do that. I'll probably go and put my other plow together that's at my brother's and see what happens. And I don't really know at this point what to do, but this one's just going to have to sit. I left the plug off of it too, so I got to go put that back on. So I think I'll just go, I don't know, hit the shop and see if there's anything else that we can do on the actual project that we're supposed to be working on, not the necessity of having a plow, which right now we don't really need. So I will need in the future, but right now, I guess we can kind of chill out. I just took a look at the clock and just realized that I am at my cutoff point to get the video out to you guys, because I still have to edit it and I have to put it together. So unfortunately, I have to shut it down for this week. And I do really honestly want to apologize for how lame the video was this week. We did get a few things done. You know, we got the cooling system started. Unfortunately, I have to wait for parts because I had to special order a lower hose, but forums were really helpful with that, so at least I'm probably going to get the right one. Got the upper hose on. We got it kind of mounted. I mean, we're not totally done, but having that plow situation behind the scenes kind of happen, it really killed me this week. I mean, I was trying to squeeze together getting that done in the background and trying to get this video put out, and when you're working outside like I am every day, and then you have to go outside in the dark, in 6-degree weather, it really sucks, and it really kills your motivation, like I said. And I got 1 tank of propane left, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to go fill all of those, and I don't even know if the dates are good on all of them. Don't get me started on that, but we did still make some progress on the truck. Not as much as I want, but also getting 18 inches of snow kind of killed everything else also, because now everything is buried outside. So that's tremendous. Then the plow thing and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, we're still inching closer to having this thing running. So as soon as the parts show up and as soon as I can finally make a run to the auto parts store, which I've been trying to do for days on end and I just have not been able to do so because I've been busy trying to fix a plow in the meantime, then maybe we can get some progress done on this poor thing, and maybe hopefully someday soon the temperature might come up and, you know, be at least to freezing instead of being this freaking cold that it, I think, broke my thermometer. I'm honestly thinking it broke because it's 24 degrees, it says, and it's not. It's way lower than that. So I've been trying to deal with being demotivated by the cold and trying to get videos out to you guys. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry, but if you'd like to help me out in at least some small way, you could subscribe. If you haven't done so already, if you've been a subscriber for a long period of time, you've seen way better videos from me. And this is more vlog format than it is anything else. And you're going to find out that that's what it is. But like, go back in my back catalog. If these are boring, go back and watch the races from last year. We had some cool runs and we had some wins. Go back in the back catalog, check some old stuff out, because I got a lot of stuff to check out, especially fabrication stuff if you're into that. But if you really, really want to help me out, especially with the propane bill, you can go over to GleasonBrosRacing.com, get yourself some merch. We have novelty t-shirts. They're very good quality, by the way. They're a really nice shirt. We have hats, we have tumblers, we have koozies, we have stickers, we have all sorts of stuff. I think I even put polo shirts up there. GleasonBrosRacing.com, that helps me directly. Next week, I'm going to get to the auto parts store. I'm going to try to fix that plow, like, off camera so you guys don't have to deal with it anymore. And I'm going to try to get back to work. It's supposed to warm up a little, so that might help. We'll see what happens. But anyway, until next time, guys, I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you then.